IMPD releases body cam video showing a suspect ramming police cars before getting shot. A World War II veteran celebrates her 100th birthday today. And we've got a rainy night, a night that Eddie Rabbit would have probably been singing about, right?
Yes,
I love a rainy night.
I like it. That was really good.
Welcome to your Friday night, 10 o'clock. Glad to be with you. We're super glad that the weekend's here.
Yeah.
And we'd love to see this rain end. I think we're soaked and saturated, aren't we?
We've been dealing with off and on rain since Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's Friday and we won't be completely done with it until tomorrow afternoon for most of us.
All right.
Now the heaviest rain is forecast to come to an end by early tomorrow morning, but we can hear it on the roof here at the Channel 13 studios, the rain really coming down. We picked up anywhere from a ½ inch on the light side north to a couple of inches of rain last night south, and we're going to add to that another inch, 2 or more. So flooding is a real concern. We had water over roadways earlier today across parts of Johnson County and expecting a repeat. So Johnson County, Morgan County, down toward Bloomington, definitely heads up. The flooding is a real threat as we continue to get some very heavy rain. And you can see this is a large storm system that extends down to the south. And I do want to take you into parts of Mississippi, a dangerous situation setting up there, Scott. I have seen a couple of pictures on Twitter. This is a confirmed tornado warning. It was a potentially destructive tornado warning, I believe, issued at one point for this area that is just north of Jackson, Mississippi. And this will turn into a national news story, I think, in the coming days, because a couple of towns have taken a direct hit from what appears to be an ongoing tornado. We use the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. They issue the watches and they issue these discussions sometimes and the convective outlook. So if we warn you ahead of time that storms are expected, that they come from the Storm Prediction Center. But they also issue these things called mesoscale discussions, and they'll issue them based on an environment that they think, okay, we're probably going to issue a watch here. This is the first time I've ever seen them issue a tiny, probably 2-3 county, 4 county area mesoscale discussion because of an ongoing tornado.
And this again in Mississippi.
This is in Mississippi,
wow,
just north of Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow.
And you can see a couple of the smaller towns that have been in the path of this, what they're calling an intense tornado.
Wow.
And I've seen a couple of pictures come out on Twitter, and again, this is something that we'll continue to monitor for you. That area had been under a tornado watch, and this is where we find that risk for severe storms. Locally, we can't rule out a couple of gusty storms along the Ohio River and points south, so more like the southern part of our state. Our local impact from this large storm system is the heavy rain that's going to continue to fall through at least 2-3 in the morning. That moves out. We will still have some leftover showers around. The flood watch will expire, but keep in mind, all of our major rivers are under flood warnings. They are high and will get higher. So if you live near one of those, a creek, a river, a stream, something that elevates with or fluctuates with rain, we've got the heavy rain. You're going to see those fluctuations over the next several days. Saturday forecast, we do start to dry things out. Temperatures will be in the 40s. It's going to be a very windy day. We go under a wind advisory early tomorrow morning for wind gusts 40 to 50. And with the saturated ground, really doesn't take much to get a couple trees down and maybe some power outages. Not expecting it to be widespread, but just a heads up, you'll want to stay weather aware as we turn our attention from very heavy rain to the potential for some damaging winds tomorrow.
And you mentioned the flooding in Johnson County. We did send a photographer there and get some video that we wanted to show you. There is what we were seeing in Franklin this afternoon. So as Angela has mentioned in this weather report, a lot of streams, rivers are going to be high, and we're going to see lots of ponding, lots of flooding, and as Angela mentioned, because the ground is so saturated and the trees are going to be whipped around in this wind tomorrow, we may see some down trees tomorrow and down power lines.
Yes, we're obviously on the calmer side of this storm system, but it's enough that we want to make sure you're aware of that flooding threat, and as you mentioned, the wind that could lead to some power outages tomorrow. All
right, we'll get back to Angela in a moment. We do want to turn our attention to a couple of stories that we're going to be covering tonight at 11 o'clock. Rachel Krause is talking to a very sad story, a man who has died from a drug overdose with a young child who spotted her dad and called 911. Not only just a tragic situation for this young family, but also the DEA now going after the drug dealer and filing criminal charges. That's one of the stories that we will be sharing with you tonight on 13 News at 11. And we're also going to be talking with Logan Gay tonight about this police video that was released today of this incident that took place recently where Metro Police were dealing with a guy who was ramming a variety of police cars, injuring police officers, and IMPD finally releasing late today some edited video of that incident. And again, want to go ahead and letting you know that this took place in February. 3 officers injured. The suspect rammed into their vehicles. The chase ended after the suspect, George Leachman, ran into a second police car. That's when the officers opened fire. Now, we've been watching this 12-minute edit video today, and here's some of the key moments that we want to show you. Watch this.
Okay, he's gonna ram me. He just rammed me and he's continuing to ram me. He's
All right, so that first clip shows the moments Leachman picks up speed and rams into the first police car. Leachman then takes off toward Ritter Avenue. Now, this next clip I'm going to show you picks up where Leachman hits a second police car. Watch.
He's still trying to figure out how to ram me. Heads up, guys. Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up. I'm good. Go, go, go.
So
go,
now
go.
Leachman would hit a third police car nearby, and then that's when officers open fire. Watch this.
Police action shooting.
So this incident is now under investigation by IMPD's Critical Incident Response Team and Internal Affairs. Our Logan Gay will be joining us coming up in about 50 minutes over on Channel 13. She'll be breaking down more of this 12-minute edited video given to 13 News by IMPD. Stunning video of a suspect ramming police cars and then being shot. We're going to go ahead and talk about that with Logan coming up tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. All right, let's bring in Angela because we do want to talk about one of the sweetest stories that we saw in the news today, this World War II veteran.
Oh.
We love our vets,
yes.
Greatest generation, and here she is celebrating her 100th birthday, and Gina Glaros was there for us today.
This is when I was 4 years old.
At her home in Fishers, Aileen Clunan walks a mantle's worth of memories.
Life, I think we're just here to get an experience.
And she has, now a century's worth.
And I got a hospital letter saying that I was born on the 24th. We had been celebrating my birthday on the 25th for 20 years.
Born in the Great Depression in a small Ohio steel town.
It wasn't until I got in the Army that I really had frequent dates.
This is Lieutenant Clunan in her 20s, working as a physical therapist in World War II. She's helped countless paraplegic patients, started a family, and traveled the world. But it's only recently where she's had more time to reflect on her experiences.
It's immense. I seem to be closer to tears anymore.
Thanks to family, friends, and strangers.
Grass Valley, California. Colorado Springs.
A simple birthday Facebook post led to all these cards and somehow even a letter from the president.
You know, I would like to respond to everyone, but that would take another 100 years.
The secret to a long life?
I don't think you can do anything special.
But the secret to a happy one?
Be grateful.
For every experience.
My message to people is find the good in people. And there's always something there.
Gina Glaros, 13 News.
What a lovely lady, 100 years old, a World War II veteran. We celebrate you, thankful for your service, and wish you a happy birthday.
And some great advice.
Oh my gosh.
Find the good in people.
Isn't that something that all of us could do, for sure?
Usually there, and to have gratitude. So she's got a great message there.
Well, let's find the good in the forecast, because right now we're dealing with a lot of rain around central Indiana.
Yeah, very heavy rain, and really it comes at a difficult time because we've obviously lost daylight, so it's dark, and it's very difficult to see high water when it's dark, so we just want want to make sure that you stay weather aware. If your area is prone to high water and you're driving tonight or early tomorrow, might need to find another way to go. Flooding is an issue now. High winds an issue tomorrow. We go under a wind advisory first thing in the morning with those winds that may gust 40 to 50 miles per hour. This is the latest with radar. Thinking now any severe storms would be south of the Ohio River. And keep in mind, the national news will continue to follow what appears to be an intense tornado that has hit several towns in parts of Mississippi.
All right, and we want to thank our viewers for joining us along our social media platforms tonight. Anastasia back with us. Kat is joining us tonight. We've got Victoria saying good evening, Angela and Scott. Fulton back with us tonight. Ralph, Matthew, Teresa, Joyce, Brian. Brian asked how much more rain we're going to get.
Another inch or two, especially if you're south of Indianapolis, and that's on top of a couple of inches last night.
Yeah, and Matthew saying, hey guys, how you guys doing?
We're good.
We're doing good because it's a Friday and the weekend starts tomorrow. We do.
This weekend's, who you kidding? The weekend starts in an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, good point. So, and on a night where Houston and Alabama, the #1 seeds, knocked out of the tournament, how about March Madness?
I was so mad and upset last Friday night when Purdue lost, and then my bracket was completely busted when Kansas lost. But I don't know. I would be surprised if there's anybody left. And if you are left, very impressive, because no #1s left.
They're all out.
They're all out.
They are all out.
Yeah.
It is March Madness.
Go Xavier. They're close enough to us to root for them, right?
I've got UConn winning the whole thing, so I'm still alive.
Okay, they looked
I've got
really
one
good.
team, I think,
They
left.
looked really good last night.
All right. Well, it's good to have you along with us here on this Friday evening. Angela and I hope to see you coming up in about 50 minutes over on Channel 13. Good night.